and welcome back to my channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Today we're going to talk about what it's like to run off the wrong fuel. And so I don't know if you have ever been the type of person that feels like you're so tired all the time, or like you might be well rested. You might have done the great things that you're gonna do for yourself that day, like exercise, meditate, pray, eat the right food, drink some tea, whatever the case is. You might have already done those things and feel like, wow, I still feel drained, or I still feel so tired. And it's like, why could that be the case? And when I was thinking about this with myself and with discussing this thought, I really discovered that you're running off the wrong fuel. I'm running off the wrong fuel. Like, imagine that you are a diesel truck and you're running off of regular gas. You're not even running off premium. You're not running off premium or the premium plus, whatever. You're running off regular gas and you're a freaking diesel truck. Do you know how quickly you'd crash? Literally and operationally. The truck can't go, no, it can't even crank up. So you're wondering why you're sitting in the same place. You can't even crank your car because you're a diesel truck running off of basic gas. And maybe your basic gas putting in diesel. That'll mess you up too. So you really have to know what fuel is for you and what is not, because you're wondering why you're sitting in the same place or feeling like you don't have the energy to move, to go. You want to go 90 miles an hour. You stuck at 0. You don't have the right fuel, babes. You don't have the right fuel. And if you constantly are running off of that, you're going to be drained. You're always going to be in the shop. And I'm sorry that I'm referring everything to the car, but that is like the best way that I can get this point across, is that you're literally not moving. You're constantly in the shop. Your transmission's messed up. Your mind is messed up. You're wondering why you can't get nowhere. And you think, oh, I just need a new car. I need a new self. I need a new me. You are perfectly you. There's no need for a new you. You need to figure out what fuel is supposed to be for you that helps you run best. Because you're really operating how you're supposed to. You're just not putting in the right fuel. And until you do that, you'll literally never run correctly. You'll never run correctly. And it's tiring and it's exhausting to sit there and keep trying and trying and trying. You're like, oh, I don't get it. You know, it's because you're just not doing the moves that's for you. And yep, it sucks. It sucks a lot. It's quite literally the same thing like a car. It's time consuming. It's costly. Cost you your time, your mind, your finances. So how do you figure out what fuel is for you? I think that a helpful way to figure out if something is fueling you or if it's not for you is by figuring out what feels draining to you. Like, when you do a certain thing, is it draining to you, or do you feel better after you do it? Or do you feel like, oh, I can keep going? Because if something's constantly draining you, it's not for you. Like, there's no world where it's for you. I don't care what it is. No relationship should be draining. No job should be draining. No. And I get maybe you're transitioning into something new and something's a little difficult. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you're like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm walking into this job and you're like sitting there like, I'm literally finna lose my mind. That's too far. You come home, you have no energy to do anything else. That's draining. But also another key thing that I would say. So number one, you want to figure out what is fueling you and what's draining you. What is just exhausting you to the point where you can't do anything else. You cannot function to do anything else. That's draining, right? Some things may be tiring, but you can keep going. That's not draining. So what's fueling you? What's draining you? Number two, you want to pour into yourself first, okay? That's key, because that will also help you to figure out, you're going to feel like everything's draining if you're never giving anything to yourself. So if you're starting off the day and you're just giving to other people, you starting off on the phone, or you starting off just boom at your job, like you didn't take time to get ready, you just threw your clothes on, ran out the door, whatever, you didn't listen to no music on the way, you rushing to work, like you didn't take the time to take a good deep breath. Pour into yourself, do anything for yourself. Find a little thing that you can do in the morning for yourself to start the day by pouring into yourself. And I'm talking about listen to your favorite song, put your favorite lip gloss on, but do it intentionally. Pay attention to the fact that you're doing it. Find 2 or 3 things, or maybe even 1 or 2 things that you can do for yourself before pouring into anyone else. That will also help you to know if you never poured anything in your cup for the day, you never poured anything, you're already starting in the negative. So you're going to feel like everything's draining you because you never gave yourself anything, right? You never filled your own cup for that day. So everything is pouring out of you because you've poured nothing into yourself. A whole nother word. But what I'm trying to say is that you must first pour a little something, even if it's just a little something, into yourself to even figure out what's truly draining or what is fueling, right? Because then if not, you're going off of interactions of things that's out of your control, right? Like, oh, I like what this person said to me, or I like, this thing that happened today. And it's like, that doesn't have anything to do with what is fueling you. So say that, even if you have a good man, right? Cool. Say your man brought you flowers home that day and you're like, oh, that's fueling me. My relationship is fueling me. It's like you're basing that off of you have done nothing for yourself that day. So you just might have liked that man brought you flowers home, but that relationship still may not be fueling you, right? So the flowers were cute, but what did they do to help you heal that day? How is your mind any better that day? You know what I'm saying? Like, he might have brought you flowers like a surprise, or, I was thinking of you, but you might have been looking for, action, right? An act of service. You might have been looking for something like that. So it's like, did it fuel you? But you're judging it wrong because you haven't been able to fuel yourself first. I hope this is making sense. I really hope this is making sense. Even other things, like this can go from scrolling on TikTok, scrolling on Twitter, scrolling on socials. Let's just say scrolling on social media. This can come from this too. You're taking perceptions of other people and automatically applying it to yourself and think that that's fueling you, right? So you might have braids in. Let's go, I have braids in. And they like, it is not the season for braids, right? It is not the season for braids this year. We are not doing braids. We're doing XYZ. And now you're like, I guess I don't need braids. Like, that's right. I don't need them braids. I don't need them. And it's like, but you clearly thought you did because you were already have the braids in your head and decided that was good for you. So, but if you were in this undecided phase of like, I'm not making a decision for myself kind of thing, then you'll get wrapped up and warped up in everybody else's opinion to where you won't even know you won't have a mind of your own to know rather this is for me because this is what fuels me, or this is draining me because it's not from me. But if you don't pour into yourself, you'll really have a hard time deciphering and figuring out what is your own thoughts that helps and fuels you versus what is the thoughts and actions of others that's draining you or fueling you. It doesn't even have to be a negative thing. But it really is super, super, super important to figure out like why you're feeling so tired when you're doing the things that you're supposed to do. Like, it's easier to understand when you're doing the bad things, right? Like when you're staying up late at night, and you're trying to fix your sleep regimen, or when you're on a hair length journey and you're not doing your hair care routine often, right? Like, and you're like, oh, why am I not seeing results? Oh, why am I not sleeping better? And it's like, no, you know why, right? That's easy to understand. That's easy to be like, well, I ain't doing XYZ, so that makes sense that I'm not going to be able to then see the results. But I think what's difficult is when you are actually doing the thing, right? You are doing the hair care regimen. You are going to bed at 9 o'clock. Now you're like, oh, maybe I need to go to bed at 8. But it's not that. It's not the thing that's incorrect. It's the fuel that you're using. You think that you're supposed to be using basic gas and you're a diesel truck. I don't know how many ways I can say it. You're running off the wrong fuel. You'll literally never be able to go. You'll never be able to go. And do you know how much further a diesel truck can go than, for example, my little Nissan? Do you know how much further a diesel truck can go? Because the type of vehicle that you are also decides the pace in which you should be moving. A diesel truck can go far, but not fast. A Ferrari can go fast, but likely not as far. So it also helps you to understand the ways in which you move in this world. Okay? I really hope this is helping. I hope this is helping. I hope this is making sense. I'm trying. I struggle with this. And so I feel like other people may struggle with this too, especially if you are in your 20s, how I am. And just not easy to always understand, like, when you're trying to do better, when you're trying to do your thing and you keep hitting a wall. Like, you know, like I said, you just can't, you crank your car and it barely cranks, or you're barely able, you're cranking your car and it barely cranks, or you can barely go anywhere. You're like, no, I just filled up my car. I just filled up my tank of gas. I filled it up all the way and I still barely can even go 5 miles. I thought I should be able to go at least across the state, and I can't even go home because you're running off the wrong fuel. And so once you finally find the right fuel that you're supposed to run off of, you'll be able to go. You'll know more. You'll know, oh, this is how far I actually can go. See, when I was working off the wrong fuel, I thought I could only go a little bit. I thought, it was always given I was low on gas. But actually you had a full tank. And now that you know the right fuel, right, you can now take road trips when before you barely thought you could make it to the mall. Or maybe now you're like, actually I can go fast. Maybe you're a motorcycle and you're like, I can get there in 5 minutes. It was taking me all day before, but I can get there in 5 minutes. Or maybe you're the opposite. Maybe you're the person that actually you want to get there in 5 minutes, but you're really the transfer truck. And it's gonna take you a while to get there. But you're moving a lot of weight. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's benefits to each, but you have to know what's for you. And that's the beauty of knowing that we're all so different. It's because we're supposed to do different things. Not everybody can be a big body Benz. And can't everybody be a little motorcycle skirting through, you know? So I just hope that this helps you learn what fuel you should be running off of, because you can be doing great things, right? You could be working on yourself, working on your goals, but just be doing the wrong method. Another quick example I'll give is like, say you're like, oh, I'm on my fitness journey and Pilates is hot right now, right? So say you're trying to do Pilates, but swimming is really where you're supposed to be at. And so it's like, oh, why can I never get my fitness journey down? You're running off the wrong fuel. Find the fuel that works for you. Okay? All right. I really hope that this message helps someone. I hope that you all enjoyed. Please let me know in the comments if you did. And stay beautiful. Again, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.